Hello and welcome back to Non-Inkables. I'm here today for a part 2 of the Ursula lore. So I'll be going through the cards that came with Ursula Illumineer's quest, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so first card is this Hexwell crown. The flavor text says, when she placed it on her head, Ursula felt a rush of power as the crown unlocked a deeper magic. And I do think that this card all the cards look very cool. But if you remember, if you haven't watched the first video, go watch that. Ursula, the lore pre-Ursula Illumineer's quest. So what we knew before. And in that one, she talks about how if she has the crown and the trident, she'll be unstoppable. So we get a card for the crown. And then we also get a card for the trident. So Ursula's stolen trident. With my magic, the trident has powers the foolish sea king never imagined. So, her talking about the power. And then the corresponding card to this trident card is this one, Triton's Trident. And the flavor text on that was, just imagine all this power in the wrong hands. And so she's got her 2 items that she wanted. And if you remember in the first video, she sent Flotsam and Jetsam to get the 2 items. She tricked the green Ursula basically so she could have both. And now she'll be unstoppable. And then we have this card, Lash Out, which is Ursula using the trident. So she's kind of like firing it. And then we also have this one, Lightning Storm. And you see Ursula kind of here in the background. She's holding the trident up and it's creating the lightning storm. Kind of Zeus-esque. I've currently been on like a Percy Jackson thing. I found a Percy Jackson podcast. Shout out to The Newest Olympian, and so I've been binging that, so my whole mind is just like Greek mythology. And then we have Fortunate Hit. So it looks like in this one, the trident gets broken, and that's probably what ultimately stops Ursula, if we're going with this whole lore thing. There is also a card in here called Entangling Magic, and it says, fascinating, ain't it? Don't be shy, take a closer look, as I scoot closer to see it. And to me, the corresponding card looks the same as Ursula's Cauldron. So this is obviously her cauldron, and the cauldron flavor text is perfect for mixing potions and stealing voices, and apparently entangling glimmers. And then we have Ursula's Contract, which I think looks very similar to this Binding Contract card, which says just a standard form, nothing to worry about. Typical Ursula. And then we have this Flotsam card that says, my darling baby, always so protective. And it was kind of hard because there's like a bunch of Flotsam and Jetsam cards to figure out which one was the corresponding, but I picked this one from set 3. It says Ursula needs lore to complete her plan, because I feel like these 2 Flotsam and Jetsams are really the ones involved in her whole plan to trick the green Ursula, unless these are the green Ursula's Flotsam Jetsam, but basically to trick the glimmers into getting entangled. And then we have this Jetsam card that says, my little popsicle can sway even the most stubborn glimmers. And then this Jetsam card that says, there must be powerful lore here, very powerful. The interesting thing is, in all the non-Ursula return cards, Jetsam is always facing to the left and Flotsam's always facing to the right. But in the Ursula's quest versions, it's opposite. Then we have the Mad Hatter. He's simply wild for parties. He's already celebrating my victory. And then this is the corresponding, I think this is the only Mad Hatter card we have, Gracious Host. And so in here, he's Sinister Host. Mad Hatter, would you like a little more tea? Alice, I haven't had any yet, so I can't very well take more. And then we have Gaston, Egotistical Bully, and then his matching card is Gaston, Baritone Bully. So I feel like all the cards in Ursula Illumineer's quest have matching cards that have almost the same subtext under them, just like one word is changed, and then the art looks pretty similar. And all of them, they have these possessed demon purple eyes. And then if you remember in my first Ursula lore video, there's a lot about like the purple seaweed and then the black tendrils, and that's present in all of the Ursula Illumineer's quest cards. Here we have Captain Hook. It says, an obvious choice, of course, so full of treachery and deceit. He reminds me of me. And then the corresponding Captain Hook is this Forceful Duelist card. He loves to make light of a foe's predicament. And so Forceful Duelist versus Devious Duelist. And that was another one where I really had to use the subtext because there's a lot of Captain Hook cards. Next we have Tamatoa, Grabby Crab, and Tamatoa So Shiny, which I found out in the French version is called Tamatoa Bling Bling. And I think that the card, because he has like the gold stuff on his back, and on the other Tamatoa cards, he does not. So the other Tamatoa card is Tamatoa Drab Little Crab, and in that one he just has like one coin, and he has nothing. He just has like seaweed on his back, whereas this Tamatoa looks much bigger and much like this one, even though the words are not as similar as you would expect in the other cases. Then next we have Anna. We have Anna, Enamored Sister, and I was debating between this one and Braving the Storm because she's wearing the same outfit in both. Not so much her Warrior True-Hearted one, since she's in armor in that one. But this one, the text says, royalty, so pretty, so naive, so utterly impressionable. And of course, Anna, two sisters, one mind. And then next we have Hercules. He doesn't have any flavor text on Ursula card, but this is obviously the divine hero Hercules, and here he is manipulated hero. He's covered in that seaweed. He's got the possessed eyes, but same armor. I should say same outfit. Next we have Jafar, double-crossing vizier, versus here just Jafar, royal vizier. And in his Ursula version, it says, with a strong will, he was difficult to entangle, but I always get my way in the end. And then the Royal Vizier version just says, soon you'll learn who holds the real power. And then next we have Prince Eric, who is the Grim Groom, which I think matches with this new Prince Eric card, Ursula's groom, because they both have groom. He's in the same outfit. In the other Prince Eric cards, he's in a different outfit, but this is very obviously his wedding outfit. And seriously, poor Prince Eric. First he gets hypnotized by Ursula as Vanessa, and then I guess easy to change him over. I guess he's getting hypnotized by the same person, but twice. Although this one, he's just, hypnotized, so he just has normal eyes, but whereas this one, he has the glowy eyes. And then next we have Bruno Madrigal, and his text says, his particular talents have already come quite in handy. Next we have Hey Hey, who's always present, and I put this particular Hey Hey in because they're eating the same rock that has the purple barnacles on it. And then his text is, he doesn't know why he's here, neither does Ursula. So Hey Hey's just always there, unsure why. Then next we have Magica Dispel, shadowy sorceress, and then the original Magica Dispel thieving sorceress, and her text says, her quaint spells are little more than trifles compared to my own. Still, she does have her uses, which is what Ursula says. And then her flavor text in the original card says, do you know what I call that? A good start. And then next we have Minnie Mouse Wide-Eyed Diver. And I was actually looking at this card and kind of sent me down this rabbit hole. So hers, it says, the first and best of my entangled glimmers, Ursula. And so it's the Ursula version of this Minnie Mouse, which actually doesn't have any flavor text, but I remembered this Donald Duck card that said, you go ahead, Minnie, I'm going to see if there's any lore over here. And then you see Minnie in the background. And if you look at the Minnie in the Wide-Eyed Diver, she's looking into this cave-looking thing that very much looks like Ursula's lair. And so I think she probably was in Ursula's lair, went to go search for lore, and then got captured. And so that's why she is the first glimmer. And then maybe people went to go save her and then also got captured kind of situation. And then we have some cards that don't have a corresponding card yet in the normal set. So there's Shark Toothy Terror, which when I saw it, I thought it was Bruce from Finding Nemo because it's a great white, but it's not. And it says he loves a problem he can sink his teeth into, Ursula. And then we also have Triton's Daughters, which we technically don't have a card for. And it says, perhaps I should have taken their voices too. Well, there's always time for that later. And Triton has 7 daughters because they're the 7 seas. And then we have a bunch of cards that describe nautical things. So first is Riptide. And then you see it looks like the ship is broken. Mickey is in there. And then you have Choppy Waters. And you see this interesting looking pod thing, which is also in the card Typhoon, which kind of reminds me actually of the little ship things in Atlantis. I'm not sure if they're the same. And then we have Tentacle Swipe with the ship that Prince Eric is probably Prince Eric's ship. Because if you remember in the red Prince Eric card, I didn't pull it out, so I'll just add it. The red Prince Eric card, it says that he went to the edge of Lorcana and stumbled upon like a weird place, which in our previous video I postulated was probably Ursula's lair, because it also says that Ursula's lair is at the edge of Lorcana, and so this is probably Prince Eric's ship, and he's going to battle Ursula. And then we also have this card, Tsunami, with the ship in a tsunami and a camel in the sand. Weird. Don't know why there's a camel there. And we also have Whirlpool. So we have, I think, Prince Eric's ship, those Atlantean pod thingies. And then we have Capsize, which is probably when it crashes, and that's why Mickey Mouse ends up in the water, and the Riptide one, and then Crushing Wave all with the boat. So those are the cards from Ursula Illumineer's quest. And then I don't remember, I think I mentioned these in my previous video, but it's interesting that there's like this Diablo card from this set that says, keep an eye on the sea witch, my pet, tell me everything. So Maleficent is obviously keeping an eye on Ursula. There's also this Hades card that says, this neat little scheme has Ursula's tentacles all over it. That sneaky sea witch, wait. I can use this. She can keep those obnoxious Illumineers busy while I roll out my own plan, which makes me think maybe in a next set or some subsequent set that it'll be like a Hades themed one. So like instead of Ursula's return, it'll be like Hades' big plan or something, which would be amazing because that means we would get more Hades cards, or at least maybe more sassy Hades. And there's also this Nessus card, which is from the Hades franchise. So he's the River Guardian that Meg was trying to convince to join Hades when Hercules intervened. And it says, he sent the eels away when they came with the sea witch's offer. He didn't need her help making trouble, which makes me, I don't know if that means like he's part of Hades' plan that he's going to enact while we're all distracted playing Ursula Illumineer's quest, or if he's doing his own thing. So I feel like basically a lot of the evil villain characters got entangled by Ursula, and also some of the good characters are entangled in Ursula's plan to take over, and she's trying to use the trident plus the crown, but because of this fortunate hit card, Ursula is not as strong because we've taken away one of her things of power. It's the crown and the trident. And so then maybe the next chapter will be either Hades enacting his plan, or maybe Maleficent has something planned, or maybe it'll go Hades then Maleficent. Maybe they'll team up. Who knows? Yeah, so those are my ideas, and those are the card from Ursula's return. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you think Hades is going to be the next set, or maybe Maleficent? All right, as always, keep shuffling. Hopefully you don't end up with a handful of non-inkables like me. All right, bye.